May 3rd, 2026. Incubation and raising pea chicks and peafowl. I'll kind of keep this brief. I've been doing this probably since a child, raising different type of birds. This particular strain is straight India Blue, which is my favorite. First of all, we hope that you get fertile eggs and have good breeders that have a good hatch rate. Second, the quality of your incubator. Now, there are a lot of inexpensive, those styrofoam ones. I avoid those. Actually, I have some older ones, but I use those as the lockdown time and a temporary brooder. I find that even some of the more professional models of incubators, which I use, they never send spare parts, and the most important spare part is the humidity sensor. With my years of experience with incubating all types of birds, turkeys, quail, ducks, of course peafowl, and I don't know if I said turkeys, chickens, a lot of different birds. Most of them kept the great temperature, but the humidity is really the key to your hatch rate. If it goes too high, it's not good. Conversely, if it goes too low, that's bad too. Temperature, I use adjustable incubators where I can set the temperature and, if I have to, as well as humidity. My temperature for any type of chick, whether it's game birds, domestic or wildlife, is 99.7, not 100, but about 99.7 to 99.8. That's the temperature, and that's set. Now, the most important part is the humidity. It depends on the birds, and you can go on the internet and look, but for peafowl, I use 60% humidity for the first 25 days before lockdown. 60% humidity for the first 25 days. And it remains constant. The better the incubator, the better, success you'll have. On lockdown, when I remove the rotation of the eggs to the brooder, is on the 25th day, because it's 28 days to hatch peafowl, more or less. Once they go into the lockdown, I keep the humidity at between about 71 to 73 degrees for 3 days. I find with that, it really helps them pip out. Now, sometimes you'll have an egg and they're struggling. So if they're struggling still to pip out, but they are pipping after 24 hours, I don't like to, but I go in and insist. I use a little dental tool with a rubber tip and kind of get in there and start to relieve some of the eggshell by just moving a little bit. I don't spray the eggs with a little sprayer. I don't find that really helpful. Some people do that, lightly spray the eggs in the humidity if they're struggling. But I never like to really open the eggs of any type of bird. It's just really delicate, and sometimes the success rate is not very good because it's just not a good idea. But in nature, it's different. So this year I'm using this really large storage locker that I got, container that I bought at Home Depot. Didn't need the top, and I have the 100-watt bulb, heat bulb on them, all 24 hours. And this area right here, I do cover it. This is just for the filming. These birds right here, you can see the bigger one is the oldest one. They're just a couple days old. They're probably about maybe 4 days old. And actually, I just pulled 3 from the brooder that I'm going to be putting in. You can see the new birds I'm putting in. And a very critical thing as far as humidity, another one is the feed. If you're raising game birds or wild waterfowl birds, please avoid feeding medicated crumbles. That's what I start all my birds on, crumbles. Sometimes I actually grind it in a coffee grinder if I see a little tiny bird that's not as large as the others, or just kind of get them started, because I do put their beak in the water and beak in the food when I put them in. You need to use non-medicated crumbles, non-medicated, no antibiotics. The problem is with non-domestic birds, you can literally kill your birds in a very short period of time. Now, later on, when they're ready to go outside or in a larger pen, when they get bigger, you can, use any type of medicated if you want to, if you need to. And then when you get a little bit older, I feed them a good quality scratch green. I mix in a little bit of grit, and I mix in some other type of game bird crumbles. Now they do need a higher protein like wild turkeys, so you can get the highest protein you possibly can. So that's kind of the setup that I have. They're doing well. They're feeding, and and if they walk away from the temperature, if it's a large enough container, and they're not hanging out at the underneath the heat, then it's too hot. If they're underneath the heat lamp like these two are right now and they're going to sleep, they need that warmth right now. They are indoors right now because I just prefer to do that. Another thing is it's good if you put down the shavings, put some cardboard underneath the shavings or some thick newspaper. You want them to flatten out those feet because sometimes they'll have little splayed legs, and you want them to walk around and get those legs nice and strong. So I've got two feeders here. I'm sorry, one is water and one is the crumbles, and they're eating pretty well. Now I'm on a well, which means our water is hard out here, and I've had it tested, traces of arsenic, which is a naturally occurring mineral, and also high in iron. So I use purified water for them, and in my incubator I use distilled water always to keep it clean. So that's kind of some of the tips. And I'm going to be putting in some new birds. These are just over 24 hours, about a day and a half of age. I'm going to be putting them in right now. They'll be a little bit smaller. So here's one here. I'll put this little guy in here. And sometimes they might pick the other one, the dominant one here. He's checking it out. You can see the size difference. Oh, and there's another one there. And these are ready to go. I'll make sure that they're standing pretty straight, and they'll figure out the food and everything, and then I'll cover them up. So again, a good incubator, good fertile eggs, good knowledge, and a good lockdown, and using the correct food, non-medicated, you'll have a high success rate. They grow pretty fast, and I always have them covered because they might just jump out. So they're checking out each other right now, and then I have one as I pull the new ones to put in here. I just noticed another egg in my brooder is pipping, and I pulled some eggs today too. So again, it's 28 days incubation, lockdown at 25. Raise the humidity. Try not to open it too often unless you're adding eggs to your lockdown. And having a good incubator, trying to get spare sensors, humidity sensors, is always a good thing to have. Most incubators don't come with them, and then you really have a problem if your humidity sensor goes out. Usually they're digital and they just kind of plug in, that kind of a part. Anyway, they all look happy, and they'll kind of join together and sleep at night. They're a little noisy today, which is unusual because they've been quiet. So I hope you enjoyed. If you're raising these or wanting to raise them, they're not pets. I mean, I know some people that have peacocks that will come up and eat out of their hands, or, I actually saw a person who clipped the wings of a peacock so it wouldn't fly away, and I thought that was really, that wasn't good. That is not what they do in the wild. They need to be, and they are loud when they grow up. So anyway, hope you enjoyed watching this, and I'll have more as they get a little bit older. Thank you.